All right. Could you state your name for the record, please, Mr. Gamez?
Charles Gamez.
Mr. Lebo, were you able to meet with him? Yes. Okay, so
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a Bosun's Way for your mail. Is that a good place for you to receive mail from the court?
No.
Okay, do you want to give me a different address?
I could give you my mother's address, but I don't want to live stream that.
Okay, we can get it from you later then. The phone number that you provided that ends in 8947, is it okay to use that phone number?
I mean, you can. I mean, obviously, I can't use it, but
Okay. All right. State of Michigan versus Charles Gamez, Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department, report number 2320636. I do not have a court case number because it is Sunday. I've received a petition requesting a court-appointed lawyer. I will sign that. You may proceed when you're ready, Mr. Lebo.
Thank you, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Davi Lebo on behalf of Mr. Gomez. I've reviewed the complaint with Mr. Gomez and we waive formal reading and stand mute.
This is not Gomez, this is Gamez.
I apologize, Your Honor. I've reviewed the complaint with Mr. Gamez and waive formal reading and
Okay,
stand.
just want to make sure we're talking about the right person.
We are.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Blanche.
Defendant's been charged with open murder in Utah.
Oop, I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, Judge.
A
Can you hear
little
me now?
bit. That's better.
Okay. The defendant has been charged with open murder in Utah. The victim in this case died of blunt force trauma to the head and strangulation. He took a knife to her face so hard that part of the knife actually broke off in her jawbone as an embedded in her jawbone. He's released from parole in 2021 for highly assaultive domestic violence related charges. We believe he's a danger to the community and a flight risk. He has ties to Florida and it
Hear
took
her?
us.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me at all, Judge?
Very, very faintly.
Hear your voice, but not what you're saying.
I can hear that you're talking, but I can't hear the words.
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Okay, I'm as close as I can be to the microphone. I don't know why it's not.
Is your volume all the way up?
It is.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Can you check and see if she's getting picked up on the recording? You might have to put the headphones in and see. Okay, go ahead and say something, please.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you okay.
Okay.
Can you hear?
Very low on the headphones too.
But it's coming through.
It's coming through.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want me to start from the beginning, Judge, or did you hear pick?
Yeah, I think you better because I'm not sure if it was being recorded.
Okay. The defendant is charged with open murder in Utah. The victim in this case died of blunt force trauma to her head and strangulation. He took a knife to her face so hard that the part of the knife broke off and is embedded in her jawbone. He was released from parole in 2021 for highly assaultive domestic violence related charges. He's a danger to the community and a flight risk. He has ties to Florida and it took us numerous days to apprehend him. Based on those reasons, we're asking you to deny his bond, Your Honor.
Okay. And also based on the court rule.
Correct. He's been charged with
Okay.
murder.
All right, thank you. Did you want Detective Morrison to say anything?
I don't believe she needs to unless she would like to.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Mr. Lebo.
Thank you, Your Honor. So first, I'd like to address Mr. Gamez's ties to Florida. Mr. Gamez has not lived in Florida for the past 23 years, and he tells me his only actual tie to Florida is that he has an uncle who lives there, and that is not someone who he could stay with. So we do not actually believe that there's any risk of him fleeing to Florida. I would also note that he does have ties to local family, including more extensive ties to local family than he has to ties in Florida, including his mother in Novi, who, as he discussed, if he were to be released, he would reside with. Mr. Gamez also informed me that he actually turned himself into the police via a phone call where they then came to where he was staying and arrested him. So I think that's also important to note that he was not apprehended on the warrant. He turned himself in. We're obviously not seeking a personal bond. What we are seeking is a bond that he could post, and if the court deems it necessary, a home confinement tether to an address which he will provide to the court at his mother's home, rather than an outright denial of bond. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Michigan Court Rule 6.106 regarding pretrial release states that sub A, sub one, sub B, sub one, sub A states that the court may deny pretrial release to a defendant that is charged with murder. Typically, this court does deny bond in a murder case. I don't see any reason to deviate from that usual policy in this situation, so I am denying bond at this time. The probable cause conference will be on March 30th, 2023, approximately 9 a.m. over Zoom. I don't see that any other bond conditions are being requested, and I think based on the denial of bond, there isn't any need to put those other conditions in. Those can be addressed at the next court date if bond is modified. Okay, anything else?
Thank you, Judge.
You're all set, Mr. Gamez.